On this episode, Jody tastes Aussie-inspired food in Shanghai, restaurant food made simple in Beijing, one of Shanghai's most prestigious dining experiences, 86 stories high, and European and Chinese fusion in Beijing.
Taste and See for me is a home. It's a home away from home that people can gather and just share life together over good food and good company. I wanted to bring a high tea buffet setting, which you usually find in a hotel, but put it into a more casual and more accessible format. The menu is a mix of what I would consider comfort foods. During the lunch and dinners we have salads, sandwiches, pastas, great Australian steaks and burgers. And then what we try and do is we also try and put a few twists in there, because Australia, where I'm from, it's really a place of immigrants. And so the base layer of food is Western, but then there's flavors from the Middle East, from Asia, from everywhere. And so when I did this place, I wanted to bring a place where people can come and have something international, but they can also taste flavors that they're familiar with, plus flavors that they've never had before. And so we always try and change the menu quite frequently to give them that experience.
We're hanging out here on the patio in Shanghai. It's an absolutely gorgeous day. I'm here at Taste and See. And I do have to start by apologizing. I got into the fish before we can even get together on this. This fish is stunning. This is an Icelandic halibut, head and tail on. Asian culture, you have to serve the head and tail. It just means so much to see the whole fish, to know it's fresh, to know that that's the way it was done.
We sourced this wild Icelandic halibut from a friend that works directly with the fishermen over there. The halibut itself is a very buttery, very soft fish and has a lot of oil in it. So what we do is we then get some citrus, and after we've pan-fried it and baked it, we do this citrus-based sauce, which when it goes through that, when you eat it with the fish and the tomato confit and the fennel and the olives, each of those things works to just give you a little, you have the great textures and then these flavors that just burst out in different directions.
This is beautiful. It just falls apart. It's a very, very buttery texture. You do on this fish eat the skin. You've got some olives, you've got some fennel, we've got orange, really all brought together. Very, very thick pieces of flesh come off. The skin on this fish adds so much flavor to the dish, and it's so important that you actually eat the skin on this one. I started off before you got here eating just the flesh, and I thought, wow, this was really good. And then I started eating the skin, and I said, wow, no, this is the way it is. You've got to have the skin on this. And the beautiful fish, you can just put your fork in it and just slide right off. Everything just falls right off the bone. Absolutely spectacular.
How we do the dessert menu is also a reflection of that, how we want to give an international offering, but give something that people are used to having.
Taste and See does something a little bit different here. There's a dessert philosophy, and it's more like a 3-3-3. It's 3 colors, 3 textures, 3 flavors. This dessert I'm about to break into, we've got the texture of the bottom, the chocolate base, we've got some mousse, we've got little crunchy balls in the middle, we've got the chocolate outside coating, so there's at least 3 of everything going on here.
This chocolate creation that we've made, which has different layers of chocolate type stuff in it, and it just oozes out, and when you taste it, you get hit from various different directions.
And I am going to waste no further time but to get in and see what this is all about, because these desserts far exceed what I would expect to find, honestly, in Shanghai. I mean, I don't generally think of China as a pastry capital of the world, but what I see going on here really, truly is amazing. The flavors, I get it. And there's a lot going on in your mouth, but it works. And I guess on the same token, when you really do mix all those different desserts and sweet flavors of chocolate and nougat and cookie crumbs, you know, you're not really gonna go wrong.
Another one is what we call passion. And it's called the passion because we put a lot of passion into it, and it has passion fruit. This dessert is created multi-layered. It has this hazelnut sponge, which we put some biscuit crumbs on the bottom. Then we layer it with some hazelnut cream. Then we add on a layer of Belgian chocolate. Then we add on this passion fruit reduction, which is a secret and I can't tell you how it's done. Then another layer of Belgian chocolate, then we put some cream and just make it beautiful with just a sliver of chocolate over the top. And so that's one that I told my mum about.
I just want to jump into this very quickly. Oh, look at the way that breaks up. That just breaks up something beautiful. So much, again, going on in this dessert. The passion fruit, boy, does that explode. You really taste the crunchiness of the chocolate on top, the softness of the passion fruit. There's the buttercream happening in there. So much going on. Loving every flavor in this. It really does pop. I'm Jody Ness. Join me again if I ever do come out of my diabetic coma. I'm just going to get back to what I do best.
After the break, Jody tastes restaurant food made simple in Beijing.
My name is Daniel Urdaneta. I'm a chef at Mosto Group here in Beijing. Been here for 9 years now. Beijing is a big city. Even though there's many things going on and it's growing very fast, there's still a lot of space. And I'm hoping more and more people wanting to do good stuff here keep coming and make this city and this country better in terms of food. We just want to give people kind of a high-end international food, but without being perceived as a fine dining. We like to set up everything and people feel happy, relaxed, comfortable, that they enjoy everything, not only the food, but the service, the ambience, so they can really, really feel the whole experience. That's very important for us.
I'm here hanging out at Mosto with my new best friend, Daniel. We're gonna eat, we're gonna cook. Simply put, I'm gonna do what I do best. Have a great time. This is such a great salad. What makes it great? Simplicity. Sometimes the best things are simple. Look at this, beautiful chunks of meaty octopus. And again, being such a simple salad, great pieces of sweet potato, dill sprinkled all over it, green olives. Of course, we've got our perfectly cooked octopus, and then just finished with a simple vinegar and premium olive oil dressing.
So when I came here, one of the things that I fell in love a lot was how they take food in this culture, how important it is, and then how rich the Chinese food it is. So I fell in love with their food immediately, even though that's not what I do. So, but also as a capital, I think you can find nowadays every kind of food from many different countries. But here you can find from the Middle East, from India, from many places, and I like that mix. So right now I will say we kind of, for example, in Mosto here where we are like 50-50, 50 locals, 50 expat, and I think it's good. It's all about that. That's what we want, and I think it's gonna keep having that tendency going that way. They're going outside more, they're traveling more. They're seeing more the world, and of course that when you travel, I always say there's no best experience than traveling. For me, it's been an amazing experience, so I guess for everybody it is. You learn a lot when you travel, and part of that learning is the food and your palate and knowing to eat, getting to know other cultures in terms of food. And I think they will be surprised to see how much China has to offer in terms of, they have a lot of huge culture and history, it's a millenary culture, so there's a lot old, but there's a lot new. And I think that combination people don't expect to have it. They expect the old China, and then when they see the other part, the modern part of China, I think they get surprised.
As I continue to tour all over China, I'm sitting in Beijing, having a dish that is originally French, cooked by a Venezuelan chef in a Mediterranean restaurant. This is truly an international city. Pan-seared foie gras, one of the simple yet very expensive pleasures of life. Now I love the way this is done with a Parmesan crisp on top. Can you ever go wrong with a fried Parmesan crisp? But let's see, was this done to perfection? Beautiful finish on the outside, completely melt in your mouth, finished with a saffron risotto. This actually just might be one of the really cooler dishes that I had. I'm very used to seared foie gras. Of course, you get it with your crostini and whatnot. No crostini in sight here, but these flavors are awesome.
And then we have mocha, which is our latest concept. And mocha is completely different. It's about healthiness, about food. It's very energetic, very young, very hip. It's more affordable, and it's toward all these trends about healthiness and eat well and feel good. So for us, it's a concept that is working very well, and I think it's gonna keep just growing. This profession is a lot about love. You need to love it, to eat, to cook for people, to enjoy everything. Then you need some art, because you need some kind of talent, preparation, study, let's say, but it's a lot more of love. If you love what you do, so I think things go well. And then if people like it and love what you do, then it's just heaven. People like it, and we keep on trying to change it, improve, get up to date, so we put a lot of care to this restaurant. Oh, I love Beijing. I've been here 9 years in China, and all of those years living in Beijing, so Beijing is home for me. It's home for me.
So we cooked, we ate, we had a great time. I'm Jody Ness from Mosto in Beijing. See you soon.
After the break, Jody tastes one of Shanghai's most prestigious dining experiences, 86 stories high.
Jingmao means golden prosperity. And this was once a private club, but is now a public dining room and is largely considered one of Shanghai's most prestigious dining experiences. The restaurant has been recognized and praised by international publications, including the New York Times. Located on the 86th floor of the Grand Hyatt Shanghai, this is without a question one of the greatest views you'll ever have in a dining experience. This is a place where Shanghai's elite shakers and groovers come to do the deals. Drunken Chicken is really interestingly prepared, and it also comes with a great story behind it. Apparently, many years ago, a Chinese family named the Jiang family had some issues as to which brother's wife would run the household. And to settle this, they decided to have a cooking contest. The winner of the contest, who happened to be the poorest of the three, created this dish, Drunken Chicken. Following that, the brothers decided to use this recipe, opened a restaurant, and did phenomenally well. From that point on, this dish became a huge success all through China. Very tender. The dish is also marinated in Chinese yellow wine. And that really does come through, but not too strong. It's actually well balanced for a dish that you would think is marinated in wine. Not crispy, almost like boiled, but not really. Very flaky, very tender, and very, very full of flavor. This dish has an incredibly long name, and to order it, it goes something like this. I would like the boiled minced pork ball hairy crab meat roe superior soup. This dish was created to honor an emperor for a great trip to the south of China. Many, many years later, the Tang Dynasty brought this back. The amazing thing about this dish is that it supposedly looks like a lion's head, which in Chinese culture is very fortuitous. That is delicious. Very much like a wonton without the wrapping on it. But really excellent soup. An awful lot of work goes into it. I mean, the pork is minced, and then there's an awful lot of handwork that goes into forming and shaping the ball. Not an easy soup to put together, that's for sure. The soup is made in a very traditional fashion where the broth itself is made in the wok, which really helps to bring out a lot of the broth flavors, and very subtle, but then with the pork ball, it just ties that in so well together. Fresh seafood. Probably one of the greatest places in the world to really indulge is Shanghai. Where else are you gonna get a tiger prawn this big on your plate? This tiger prawn here, I've got the head, I've got the tail, the whole thing is right there. Got the whole shell still on. That's one thing I've noticed about most of the seafood that we do in Shanghai is that you have to work with your food. It's not all pre-done for you. And I kind of like that. I really do kind of like working with it because you know it's fresh. When you still have the shell on, when you still have the head on and the tail is on and still all together, you know you're getting a great fresh product. And I kind of do like that. You know, my shrimp is going to go across through them as I try to do this. Great meaty texture. Again, something you would expect from incredibly fresh seafood, right? But again, nothing is overly spicy, but it really does give you that great warmth sensation. Great mouthfeel, absolutely fantastic. Great dish. You gotta be careful though, because you still have the legs on, you still have the body on. I just wanna make sure you get that all off. Otherwise you'll be chewing shell. Never fun. One thing I personally love so much about the food in China is that it's simple, but it always seems to come back to the wok. Whether it's a broth, whether it's noodles, even seafood. The wok, such an integral part of the Chinese cooking and heritage. I'm Jody Ness, loving the seafood.
After the break, Jody tastes European and Chinese fusion in Beijing.
Inseto. Vejo os bairros degradados, gente com fome. Quem não come, gente que não trabalha.
What do you get when you combine the world's two greatest civilizations, China and Europe? Maybe, just maybe, it's this restaurant, Sureño.
The menu of Sureño is Mediterranean food, so can have some tapas as a starter to share, and then we have main course. Also we have some Italian dishes, French dishes, Spanish dishes, some Greek dishes. So we try to have all of Mediterranean flavors or Mediterranean taste. Mediterranean food is very simple. It's all about flavors and products and freshness.
This restaurant does lunch, high tea, and dinner. That may all sound great, and I'm sure it is for the restaurant, but this is so demanding on the staff that do this. It's so demanding on the restaurant itself. It's constantly going. But look around. This place is packed. Clearly, they're doing it right.
Today I will try to cook zarzuela fish. It's like stew fish, shellfish, codfish with a sauce. Well, every year I go to Spain and I try to taste new restaurants, new ingredients, new products. And then for some presentations, always when we go to other restaurants, we take some ideas from here, from there, but always the base of the dishes should be the real Mediterranean flavor and real taste. So usually we do some traditional dishes, but we try to put some funny touch or nice different presentation or more actual, yeah. Well, all the vegetables, fruits, all these ingredients we buy local market because the freshness we can get. Slowly we are getting more import food, more fishes, oysters, and fish from France, from Spain, to give the real taste, the real flavors. But slowly we can go for that taste that we know, and maybe in 5 years I was cooking the same dish, and now every year I go up with that dish. So every year it's more similar to my family taste when they're cooking in Spain.
Let's face it, when you're putting together Mediterranean dishes in Beijing, you gotta know what you're doing. Head chef Laia is from Barcelona, Spain. This is second nature to her, and every bit of talent that she has and everything she's learned clearly comes through. This dish is called codfish and seafood zarzuela. This dish just has so much going on in it. You've got some wonderful blackened codfish. I've got great baby clams. We've got some shrimp, of course, a large scampi, and there's these beautiful, beautiful pieces of baby calamari. Dying to get into this. I'm gonna move this aside because this is a fight between me and the scampi later on. I just wanna get into the fish right away. Look at that. Look at the way this just falls apart. You know that's cooked perfectly when that happens. Wow. The flavors, explosive. The fish, very buttery, very tender. And to be enjoying food like this and all the different kinds of foods you can find in Beijing, bring an entire community of worldwide flavors and countries into one melting pot. And this is just another great example.
I could not do anything that I don't feel. So I love to make people happy and they enjoy, and I don't know, I have to do something that makes people happy. And I love eating and cooking, so that was the best way.
I'm Jody Ness, still fighting my way through the food scene in Beijing, and clearly still losing.